As the gates of Ravensburg concentration camp creaked open, a young woman stepped forward with a gleam in her eye. Her name was Irma Grese, and little did the world know that this seemingly innocent girl would become one of the most infamous female war criminals in history. With her twisted sense of sadistic pleasure, Grese would become known as the Gorgeous Beast, the Blunt Satan, and the Angel of Death among the prisoners of Auschwitz-Birkenau. Her legacy lives on as a reminder of the unfathomable horrors of the Holocaust. So buckle up and prepare to be taken on a journey that will leave you breathless as we unravel the terrifying tale of Irma Grese. Irma was born in Germany to a huge family. Irma's mother committed suicide when she was 13 years old, unable to cope with her husband's continual adultery. The woman drank hydrochloric acid, abandoning her 5 children to her adulterous head of the household. Irma's siblings did their best. After experimenting with several vocations, Irma, then 19, answered the call to join the ranks of the SS volunteers in 1942. Consequently, Irma Grese appeared on the horizon of horrible crimes at one of the most horrific camps, the women's section of Auschwitz in Poland. More than 30,000 women and girls in the concentration camp were dependent on Irma Grese's will, moods, and whims. The land over which the Angel of Death ruled and reigned was divided into 30 barracks, each of which housed 1,000 people. Grese, in reality, had a dazzling appearance that frequently misled freshly arrived convicts. Her hair was always exquisite and neat, and she wore a tight blue jacket that matched the color of her eyes. She also had a pearl-encrusted whip. The lovely monster desired beauty in all things. Grese's special interest was pregnant women, whom she did not touch until a certain period. The suffering began with the birth of the child. The blonde devil chained the lack of women in labor and could sit for hours watching the pain of the unlucky. More frequently than not, both the kid and the mother died in such circumstances. Grese would send a female prisoner to the gas chamber if she survived after suffering. She took pleasure in personally picking people who would spend their final days in the gas chamber. Grese also had her own kennel, where the dogs were on a starvation diet and were often not fat at all. Intentionally, this was done. If one of the inmates collapsed from weariness, a swarm of hungry dogs would be released on him. What occurred next was obvious. Irma was dressed in padded iron boots with pointy toes. She used these shoes to beat prisoners who had done something wrong or were simply caught in the wrong place and at the wrong time. When the senior warden was feeling upbeat, she preferred to spend her time playing games, naturally with a cruel bent. Russian roulette was a popular game. Grese would form a circle of inmates, then take a handgun with a single cartridge and take turns pointing it at the inmates while pulling the trigger. The game was occasionally altered. The wardeness would just point the pistol at the unlucky and let him gas. Grese's sadism surpassed all possible and inconceivable limits when she pulled the trigger. On April 17, 1945, she was apprehended by British troops. At the time of camp release, around 60,000 individuals were still alive at the camp, as well as at least 10,000 unburied bodies. So Grese, escorted by other guards, excavated mass graves to bury the dead of the unlucky. In the Auschwitz and Bergen-Belsen concentration camps, 45 persons were accused of committing crimes against detainees, breaching war rules, torturing, and inhumane treatment of prisoners. She and another woman, Elizabeth Volkenrath, sang loudly the night before her execution. The Angel of Death's life ended on the gallows on November 4, 1945. Grese stated in her final letter to her family that she was willing to die for the Third Reich's principles. Thank you for joining us on this journey into the dark and twisted mind of Irma Grese. If you found this content informative and thought-provoking, please consider liking and subscribing to our channel for more chilling stories from history.